Hello, everybody. As you heard, my name is Aurimas Pazera. I am representing Dell Technology Solutions. And today, you heard lots about different measures and tools, how to build the cyber resilience, build cyber protection, and build the CyberShield. And actually, big thanks for the hosts and organizers, our partner TED, for organizing this event. I really like it and enjoy. I hope you too. And discussion, I liked it very much as well with the representatives from our Baltic countries. But this solution actually is different from what you heard before, and it does not compete to any of the solutions you heard about. It adds additional layer of cyber resilience for any company that needs to take care about the cyber resilience. So first thing to explain how Dell Technologies look at security in general. So we started using this term intrinsic security more than 10 years ago, and that means that security is built by default in all products that Dell is building. That means in servers, storages, all other solutions that are based on these products. And it's free of charge. And you can be sure that Dell is putting all efforts to help you to secure your infrastructure and your data. Getting back to the NIS2 directives that we already discussed in the beginning of the event. So this is already NIS2, and you see lots of additional measures and recommendations that were added starting from NIS initial one. But the main idea of NIS directive in general was to help any company to be able to restore the data or to survive the cyber incident. That means mostly it's ransomware or it's like the destruction of the data. So if not any of these measures are helping, and of course everybody would use them, this is very good. There is additional layer of protection that Dell is offering with CyberBunker. Of course, we all know that with AI, the hackers, bad actors, they're starting using it very proactively as well. And there is also a fight between who will use the new tools and new AI possibilities better. Would it be like hackers, or all other vendors are trying to use these also and to help their customers to protect their data and their infrastructure. So these are recommendations and security technical implementations guide from the Institute that would be implemented in each product in each data center. That applies to servers, storages, all our equipment. And you should care about that for sure. But if nothing helps, and anyway, I also remember very good the phrase from one of the previous presenters. He said, and eventually the bad actors are inside your infrastructure. So we understand that can happen anytime, and there are cases when nothing can protect if they set the target. If they are specifically targeted for somebody and they put all the efforts to reach their goal, would it be money, political reasons, or something else? Most probably they can do it, and that's why Dell built this CyberBunker solution already some years ago, and the foundation of this solution is Dell Backup Appliance Power Protect Data Manager Data Domain. So besides the additional capability of CyberBunker, it helps you with securing the backups. So if somebody wants to get ransom payment, it's not enough to destroy the data in the data store. So usually customers, if they are able to restore from backups, they will not pay anything. And this business actually became booming during COVID, when these guys had enough time, and they started switching from some amateur sending emails and so on, and targeting businesses. So most probably you heard about Garmin case, when government paid, I guess, 10 million billion ransom, and when the ships were stopped in the seas because navigations were not working. For sure, they invested in the protection, but still, they were fully encrypted, and they paid the ransom to retrieve their data. So, data domain brings you lots of features that are needed to, first, to meet the NIS2 requirements. That helps you. And these features are basically, so retention lock and immutability is the first thing that should be used for backup. Because if your backup can be deleted, so it's useless. And there are like different actors on the market who are targeting the data and the backups as well. Then, of course, there are role-based access, multi-factor authentication, and other tools that really help for each customer to be sure that if his production is fully compromised and the data is encrypted, he will be able to restore from the backup. And many people still don't understand why they don't notice that. We'll get to that. So on data domain, you can build different scenarios, like have a primary backup, you can have secondary backup of replication to another device, you can have the backup to the cloud, and you can build this cyber recovery, CyberBunker. And there could be like lots of different motivations why the bad actors would try to compromise. So one is money, another can be, if we look at the insiders, for example. So during last years, this ransomware business started working as ransom as a service. So you could go to the hackers group, and if you want to have some revenge or you're unhappy with something, they will help you to get into the environment. You just provide them some information, and they already do their professional business, and then you get paid some percentage of that. And the most like famous groups who are making business from ransomware, they are even competing who will pay the higher percentage for the guys who requested to target some customer and get ransom payment. And recently, actually, the techniques are changing, and malware is not like the primary focus, because Dell made a survey, and actually 79% of the incidents when the customers were attacked and their data, production data, and backups were tried to be deleted, were malware-free. These are different techniques, psychological things, phishing, and so on. So this is really a big threat, and each company would have their cyber resiliency strategy, which should cover like what assets are critical for the company. That means data, how to protect it, how to detect if something is going wrong. For that, lots of AI tools are being used now. How to respond if they get notification that they are being encrypted or their data is being deleted. And the most important is how they could recover from the cyber incident. And what I mentioned, some customers still don't understand why they don't notice that they were encrypted. So for example, if the customer has 2 weeks of daily backups, he would expect that, okay, I'll notice next day that my data is encrypted, I'll restore from 3 or 4 days backup, everything will be fine. We have very good example in Lithuania a few years ago. It was public case with a customer. He had 3 backups, 3 to 1, as per all recommendations, primary backup, secondary backup in different location, and 1 more backup in the 3rd location. He had like 30 days retention for his backups, and eventually all his production data was erased, encrypted, and all the backups for 30 days were encrypted. That happens because the hacker installed the converter, and you still can work with your data and you don't notice it. And when day X comes, the converter is removed, and then you pay a huge amount of money to buy it back and to decrypt your data. So, from Dell Technologies, cyber recovery is a solution to be able to restore your critical data after cyber incident. How it works? There are 3 main things to know. So first thing, it should be fully isolated. That means logically and physically. That means it is not connected to production network regularly. No hacker can get inside the bunker and do any actions there. All the backups should be for sure immutable on hardware level. Actually, all backup software vendors tell we have immutability, because today without immutability, the backup software is not interesting at all. But immutability could be different. So if it's on software level and the data can be deleted on hardware level, again, it's not a proper solution to be sure that your data would be, your backups would be safe and not deleted by other means, not only from backup software admin interface. And then the third part, which is most important, and for that example I mentioned a few minutes ago, if the customer had this intelligent scanning tool, software, he could notice that his backups and data are being encrypted. And because he was missing that, he did not notice, and he had serious issue. So how it looks like solution in general, there is a Power Protect data domain, which is a secondary backup appliance for the backups in general, where all the copies are put. Then there is Cyber Recovery Server, which is orchestrating all the backups coming to the bunker, delivering them to the intelligent scanning, assuring that there is a golden copy in place all the time. Then there is additional firewall or data diode. So data diode is just one direction. It cannot be compromised. Sometimes firewall as a more cost-effective solution could be used as well, but it would be certainly dedicated only to the vault. And the company's general firewall would not work, and there would be no DMZ zones for sure. Then there is management server and CyberSense server, which runs this analytics, which is checking for the backup integrity and the threats of ransomware. Why it is important to isolate the CyberBunker? So you see the persistent data paths that are in production, management data paths, none of them is going to the bunker. The only connection between your primary backup and the CyberBunker is the cable between two data domains physically, and there is no possibility technically to connect from one data domain to another. And most biggest time, the bunker is even not visible in the main infrastructure. So the hacker could notice that customer has this cyber bunker only if he gets logged into the primary data domain. That means already all the admin's credentials are compromised. And during the time when the interface is put on from the bunker side, because all the management, all the data replications that are coming from the production, they are automatically managed from the bunker. There is no any chance to connect to the bunker and change anything. If something happens, the admin goes to the bunker physically, sits at a server, and checks what's happening. And you can get through the data diode or the firewall, you can get just the daily reports, or you can come to the bunker and check the reports on the monitor. So how this technically the backup is happening? At some time that is fixed from the bunker data domain is putting on the interface to connect to the production. It gets its daily copy of the backup and closes the connection. That means there is no any connection from production to the CyberBunker. Then the golden copy is made, and the data copy is sent. Oh, sorry, this is recovery. The data copy is sent for analytics, and the bunker is waiting for the next iteration, usually backups happening during night. What are the options to recover? So if you have the cyber incident, the most simple and easiest thing is just go to the bunker and enable the reverse replication. You cannot connect to it, you need to go physically there. And the bunker can be, it can be a closed area with limited physical access, or at least it could be a closed track in the data center. Also not so easy to access for anybody to remove drives or to destroy the data in all other ways. So you just enable the reverse replication. The other option is if you have full encryption cyber incident and need to recover a big amount of data. That means you can arrange the automated recovery, but for that you already need to be sure that production site is clear. And you need to connect additional cables to enable the cabling from CyberBunker to make the recovery directly to the production. Also, you can make a restoration into clean room, or you can power up the virtual machines in the data domain for quick temporary access if you need to access some critical data immediately. So the third and most interesting part of CyberSense. So actually, this is advanced software using machine learning and AI technologies to scan all the data that is coming from the production site to the bunker. And the difference from like antiviruses or other similar tools is that it analyzes each bit of the information coming. It generates lots of millions of entry points using different, about 200 different techniques. And then it sends all this data to artificial intelligence engine, who is learning on the patterns, and it takes some time, week or two, for it to get trained on the regular changes of your daily changes of the data and the backups. And then it can recognize even the patterns that are not in any databases. And when we were first started telling about the solution, the first question was, so how do you update it? Because you need to update antiviruses daily or at least weekly. So you don't need to update it because it does not using like databases. It is using AI and machine learning to identify the threats with different methods. That's why it gives additional layer of security, and it gives additional chance to detect the encryption in really early phase. So the data comes, you have full analytics, all data is sent to machine learning, and then if something is detected, you immediately get warned. And the most important part, really, this is a post-attack report where you can find all the details, what realistically happened. And the most important thing is which copy of the data is safe and clean, and you can go and restore it. Because when cyber incident happens and there is like a ransomware issue, usually everybody is starting to check everything one by one, and first copy is compromised, second compromised, and it's not so easy even to find the good copy if it exists. So in this case, you get the proper detailed report. It has like really simplified dashboard view. You can get all the reports. You can see the warnings. You can see which of your golden copy is for sure good and safe. So this is the third part of the software. If we summarize, so first thing, what is good, and at least I would say it is mandatory for each company dealing with the backups. You would need to have like retention lock enabled and immutable backups that would not be deleted simply with stealing login, admin's login or password or other credentials. Then it's better if it is supported with different backup software vendors. So you can use any software, backup software vendor you like, because this is additional solution complementing it. And with automated, fully isolated CyberBunker, air-gapped CyberBunker, you could be sure that you will be able to restore the data, whatever happens. If, of course, everything is done by recommendations. So it is not, this guarantee is not active in EU because of different laws and regulations, but in US, if the customer implements the CyberBunker according to all recommendations, it gets like a 10 million guarantee that if cyber incident happens and he cannot restore the data from the bunker, he gets this budget to pay the ransom and to get his data anyway. So that is shortly, and just like very few recommendations for daily hygiene. I hope you're all using them. Just to remind that each admin in each company would have least privileges. That means wouldn't have access to the data that he does not need. Not like access to everything. Micro-segmentation, good for that as well. Multi-factor authentication for today is must. I already heard that it is outdated, but I still know that not even all customers are using that. So I would say it is just mandatory for today at least. And of course, automation of lifecycle management also helps to avoid additional issues. That's it shortly from my side. Any questions?
Thank you. How do you know which backup version is the last good uncompromised one if a previously unknown vulnerability was exploited? Because this is about unknown unknowns. The question is, where do we go for the last survival?
So this is CyberSense that indicates, and it uses in own technologies that are patented. So I cannot tell you exactly how it detects which of them is golden copy, which is for sure good one. But you get it into the report, and you have this information.
All right. Then, is it possible to ensure that CyberBunker is placed in different geolocation from servers?
Yes, and it would be placed in different location from production environment, from servers, from storages, that's all fine. Actually, it even supports multi-tenancy. That means if customer has different sites, 2 free sites, he can have the bunker in one more and get the copies coming from different sites into one. It's all fine.
Any other questions from the audience? Well then, round of applause. Thank you. I guess you can talk like privately. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.